Terence Crawford, potentially fighting in September. You're going to get asked a lot about this fight, but as you sit here, you know, sort of a month, quite a few months away, how do you look at the fight between Canelo and Crawford?
I mean, look, there's weights for a reason in boxing, and even though I got a huge respect for Terence Crawford for showing the balls that he wants to go in the ring and fight a beast like Canelo.
Amir Khan, the ex-world champion who has himself fought Canelo Alvarez in the past, has gone on record in support of Canelo and with grave reservations regarding the clash with Terence Crawford. Khan advised there is still time to change their mind or even withdraw the fight, urging that Crawford is neither physically nor tactically equipped to deal with someone as dominant and battle-hardened as Canelo. Khan's comments have generated debate among fans and experts on whether the bout is genuinely fair or even risky for Crawford.
I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to do that. I think Canelo just outboxes. Well, no, doesn't outbox him, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And you do give Canelo does have some sort of like decent speed as well. So I think Canelo just wins that fight easy.
Would it be a knockout?
Could be, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Notwithstanding Amir Khan's caution and reservations expressed by other members of the boxing fraternity, the official date for the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford bout has already been scheduled and sealed. The bout is now well into the planning process, contracts signed, and promotions in progress. Organizers are all set to go ahead. This assurance provides little scope for the cancellation or postponement of the event, indicating that both fighters and their camps, as well as promoters, are keen to provide one of the biggest bouts of the year.
We've got breaking news out of the world of boxing. Canelo Alvarez will square off against Terence Crawford for the unified super middleweight championship later this year in September. Alvarez, who has 62 wins and 39 knockouts to his name, will have one of the toughest matchups of his career against a 41-0 undefeated Bud Crawford. That fight is set to take place on Saturday, September 13th in the city of Las Vegas.
Initially, it was Turki Alalshik, the powerful Saudi advisor and General Entertainment Authority chairman, who first announced the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight, a man who has played a key role in staging some of boxing's most recent big-ticket shows. His involvement was immediately eye-catching, but also caused confusion, as it seemed to suggest that the promotion might be falling to someone other than Dana White. Given Turki's prominent role in sports entertainment, many speculated whether this fight marked a new power shift in boxing promotions.
It's happened. Canelo Crawford, 13th of September in Las Vegas. Thank you for everyone. Thank you, Canelo. Thank you, Crawford. Thank you, Netflix. Bella. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, all your team in Netflix. Thank you, Nick Khan, TKO. Thank you, Dana, my brother, who he will promote this fight with me. Thank you for Dr. Rakan, my old friend, Dr. Rakan. Thank you to Riyadh Season, Faisal. Thank you to Fatal Fury, SNK. Thank you to The Ring Magazine. Thank you for everyone. This is the biggest fight in boxing and in history in the last 10 years and maybe more. Thank you, Shepard, from the team of Canelo.
In response to the confusion and rumors surrounding the fight's promotion, UFC President Dana White made a firm public statement to address the situation. He clarified that despite the Turkish announcement, he is indeed the official promoter of the Canelo vs. Crawford showdown. White was quick to reassure the fans that there has been no change in ownership or control of promoting the event. His statement not only silenced rumors, but also reiterated his increasing participation in big boxing events, highlighting his interest in producing a premium production.
More unrelated to this fight, but Turkey made it seem like you weren't going to be promoting the Terence Crawford Canelo fight. Is there anything you can kind of clear up on that?
He made it feel like I wasn't?
Yeah, well, he said that someone else was promoting it. He didn't say no TKO, he just didn't include your name in a tweet, and people kind of freaked out online about like, where'd Dana go?
I'm going to tell you what's awesome, man. So there's a lot of fucked up things about boxing, but they don't say shit. I mean, nobody talks. It's the most amazing thing. If we sign a deal, I gotta fucking get on my phone quick and go, hey, we just fucking, because 90,000 people will be out there talking about it. These guys don't talk. I'm promoting the fight.
Among the most thrilling things about this fight for the fans has been news that it will be streaming through Netflix. Boxing reporter Dan Raphael pointed out that this move has the potential to be a game changer, particularly because much of Canelo Alvarez's audience is based in South America, where Netflix has extensive market penetration. The global reach and ease of access of the streaming platform make it a perfect vessel for maximizing audiences. Fans have greeted the news enthusiastically as a contemporary progressive gesture.
Reported not only about that aspect of it, but that it would be a fight brought to the public, at least well, around the world, I guess, on Netflix, which would be great for boxing fans because that means no pay-per-view, and basically them at Netflix doing it in a similar fashion that they did the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul event, the way they're going to do the third fight card between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano in July. And I was like, that's terrific because it's not a pay-per-view. I mean, for me, it made no impact of whether it's a Friday night or a Saturday night, but having covered so many fights, like it's always better in Vegas on a Saturday night, especially a Canelo fight, because the vast majority of his fans are from the Southwest in the United States, California, Mexican-American fans. And having covered any number of those types of fights, those fans, if they're going to come to the fight, typically they'll come to Vegas on Friday, stay and watch the fight on Saturday. Now to ask them to be there on Friday is more difficult because a lot of those folks would have to take the day off from work. It's not conducive to that type of situation. But again, it wouldn't have an impact on me. But it always Saturday seemed to be the better play. But I'll leave that to them.
Earlier this week, Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford, and the Turkish promoter met in person in a remarkably pleasant and respectful encounter. Both Canelo and Crawford, though tensions were high regarding their upcoming bout, expressed sincere appreciation for one another's progress, achievements, and commitment to the sport. The get-together, complete with smiles and handshakes, established a positive tone before what is bound to be a closely contested fight. It was a reminder that respect can still be present on the highest level of boxing.
Because we are two fighters.
Yeah, two fighters, but
True fighters.
true, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk about the fight because they want to say something. The people know we are great fighters. They want to put a great fight.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk.
I am sure in the end in the mid of September we will have one of the greatest fights ever happen in boxing, and I am sure of it. I am sure of it.
And fists up. Guard's good. Excellent. Great. Excellent. Wonderful.
This fight add major mood shifts as initially, fans and analysts alike rallied behind Canelo Alvarez as the clear favorite, with Teofimo Lopez leading the charge. Lopez, among many others, praised Canelo's power, experience, and proven track record at the highest level. The early consensus leaned heavily toward the Mexican superstar, expecting his pressure and strength to overwhelm Crawford.
I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yep.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog. He's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
Hey, let's see. Only one way to find out till that day comes.
It's the only way, but I definitely think that it's a great fight overall. Black and brown is how you get down.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Sean Porter also had his doubts regarding Crawford's capacity to deal with Canelo's power, questioning whether Crawford would be able to take those tough punches. Porter highlighted Canelo's strength and toughness, and he implied that the toughness could prove to be a huge test for Crawford in the ring. Although he admires the ability of Crawford, Porter opines that when it comes to the matter of taking big shots, Canelo is the obvious choice, and this could be the point of turning in the bout.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
Juan Manuel Marquez also had the same issues, pointing out that the weight increase might affect Crawford's performance. Marquez indicated that fighting up to take on a larger, stronger fighter such as Canelo may hurt Crawford's speed and endurance. He fears that the difference in size would be the determining factor, potentially favoring Canelo with power and endurance. Similar to Porter, Marquez appreciates Crawford's ability, but isn't entirely certain Crawford is able to take the physical toll at this weight.
I don't like the fight because Terence Crawford is a good fighter, but in the sport of boxing, it has divisions. You know what I mean? You know?
Right, weight classes.
You know what?
Right?
Yeah, weight classes
for a reason.
Weight classes for and Terence Crawford is a good fighter in super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight, but I think more. I remember when Terence Crawford fought with Madrimov.
Yes.
He looks slow. He looks with no power. And three more divisions, two more divisions. I think it's a top fight for Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He has a great defense. He has a good combination punches, but I think the weight class is no good for him.
Adding to the roll call of Canelo believers, Jim Lampley applauded how much Canelo has learned from the best in the game, Floyd Mayweather. Lampley pointed to the development of Canelo in defense, ring IQ, and adjustability, refined skills honed by observing the best at the game. He thinks this experience provides Canelo with a tactical advantage that should not be overlooked. With voices such as Lampley's supporting him, the argument for Canelo is still strong, presenting this fight as an actual battle of boxing minds and styles.
Canelo's smart. Absolutely, he's smart. He knows this business as well as anybody. So no, it's not surprising that Canelo learned from Floyd and has employed some of that in the retention of his career. Canelo still knows how to make fireworks when he absolutely has to make fireworks. But at the end of the day, he's a counterpuncher. He's a great defender. He has the most solid punch resistance of anybody in the sport. Nobody's ever knocked him off balance. Nobody's ever really knocked him down. There's only one official knockdown in his career, and it was because he bounced off the ropes when Jose Cotto hit him with a hard shot to the chest. And the referee employed a strict interpretation of the rules and said, oh, the ropes held you up, so that's a knockdown. He's never been put on his back by anybody. He rides horseback every morning. His legs are the strongest in the sport. You're not going to beat Canelo until somehow over a long period of time Canelo beats himself. If he gets tired of all the discipline he has had to employ to make all the money he's made, if he has enough giant ranches in the Yucatan, if he has enough beautiful horses, if he has had enough unforgettable dinners with Mexican billionaires in Mexico City and Vegas.
But since that Canelo versus Callum Smith fight, even though Canelo won, the absence of speed and drama sowed seeds of skepticism among the fans and pundits. Oscar De La Hoya was one of the first to publicly decry the bout as being disappointing and ask if Canelo's style was changing or getting overly cautious. That bout raised questions about whether Canelo would be able to hold on to that dynamic advantage that made him so exciting inside the ring.
The facts are that they're over 35 years old both, and I remember I fought Chavez when he was 32 and he was 99-1 and people thought he was over the hill. So
have you changed your pick for that fight, Oscar, based on how Canelo looked against Skull?
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because Canelo, you know, obviously he walks on quicksand. We saw it against Skull once again. Crawford is very, you know, he's not one-dimensional. He can move, he can box, he can, you know, I don't know how hard he hits to keep Canelo away from him, but, you know, I think it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight.
Consequently, numerous analysts began to favor Crawford, the first of them being Teddy Atlas, who didn't mince words. Selecting Terence Crawford to pull the upset, Atlas likened the fight to Pacquiao versus De La Hoya, in which the smaller man stunned the world with speed, timing, and accuracy. He thinks that Crawford's ring IQ and versatility will prove decisive, similar to Pacquiao's. Size will not count when greatness enters the ring, says Atlas.
Again, people are going to say Canelo's too big.
He had trouble with a 154-pound guy when he went up from welterweight to that. So now he's going up to 168. Teddy, come on. How are you going to make an argument? You're going to make an argument to this, to the history of this sport, where little guys have been able to beat big guys, because you reverse it. You reverse who's got the advantage and the disadvantage. Yeah, the size, the power of Canelo, he's got the advantage. Then all of a sudden you go back and you say, wait a minute. The other guy's faster. The other guy's craftier. The other guy has more options. The other guy is, maybe he's got the advantages. Like the first time Pacquiao fought De La Hoya. And I know De La Hoya was having trouble with weight and all that. I get it, and that's fair. But still, I remember I picked that one. Every once in a while I pick one right. I remember that I picked that one where Pacquiao's going to win. And I said, yeah, you're saying that De La Hoya's bigger, he's stronger. He's got the power edge, he's got this edge. But the other guy's quicker. And that's going to be an edge, and it was.
Teddy Atlas also supported Terence Crawford by saying that he possesses the elusive X factor which distinguishes great fighters from the exceptionally great ones. He referred to previous upsets such as Pacquiao versus De La Hoya, where timing, speed, and ring intelligence overpowered size and power. Atlas detects something of the same sort cooking here. A tempest Canelo may not be prepared to handle. Though evasive, his faith in Crawford says much. This isn't a prediction, it's a warning.
I'm one of the people that thinks Crawford is very, very special. I'm not saying Canelo's not, but I think he's special in a different way, where he's got instincts that not everyone has. Yeah. That it's the timing, it's the instinctual things, the X factors, the intangibles that he has. And I think they're going to show themselves. I really do. And I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to see a smaller guy use those intangibles, use those X factors to beat a bigger guy. I always wanted to see David and Goliath live. Yeah. Didn't you?
Of course, absolutely. I would as well.
Okay, we'll get ready to watch.
Moving on, Sugar Ray Leonard has expressed firm faith in Terence Crawford, predicting that he'll step up against Canelo Alvarez. Not overthinking, Leonard simply said, "There's always a way to win," positing that Crawford's intelligence, timing, and toughness could be the recipe. From a legend who fought and defeated the best, words mean everything. Leonard did not dissect it. He did not need to. His serene confidence in Crawford tells fans all they need to know.
Too big for someone like Terence.
That's true, but you know what? There's always a way. Put it that there's always a way. There's always a way to win.
Josh Taylor has also backed Terence Crawford, joining the increasing number of champions who believe Bud has what it takes to do the job. Taylor, a former undisputed super lightweight champion, was full of praise for Crawford's all-around ability and fight IQ, which he thought would enable him to outfight and outbox Canelo. Taylor did not get too deep into strategy, but his faith in Crawford was evident. His all-around ability is just on another level. With combatants like Taylor and Leonard in his corner, the odds now appear to be in favor of Bud.
Canelo Crawford, what's your prediction for that?
Crawford. I don't know, it's a tough one to be fair, but I think Crawford definitely has got the ability and the skill to outbox him and outmaneuver him. But I don't know if he's quite as cute as but the nuances how Mayweather done it. But it was obviously that's the blueprint. And Crawford can switch it as well, and he can do the same things as what Mayweather done, but he's just not quite as cute as it at it, But yeah, it's an intriguing fight. It's certainly an interesting fight. One I'll definitely be staying up to watch.
Tony Beaulieu joined the chorus in the Crawford camp with one overriding reason: speed. The ex-cruiserweight champion is convinced that Crawford's rapidity of hand as well as foot will prove the difference against Canelo's power and pressure. Beaulieu had no hesitation in supporting Crawford, observing that speed is deadly in boxing, particularly when combined with great ring IQ. With monikers such as Taylor, Leonard, and Belleau all tipping to Bud, the conviction of Crawford's greatness is ringing louder than ever.
He's not old by any stretch of the imagination. No, he's an exceptional fighter, Canelo. But the way that everyone will think is weight classes exist for a reason, and they're thinking Bud's going up too much. Bud's actually big. Terence Crawford's a big dude. I've been around him. I know him. and he's a brilliant fighter. Technically, very adaptive, can do it all. Has got power. The Errol Spence fight tells you everything you need to know. The Errol Spence fight he was unbelievable. And Errol Spence is a seriously physically strong guy with power. Errol Spence made it a modern day Marvin Hagler. He was a force to be reckoned with. And he brushed Errol Spence aside like he was nothing. And bullied him. And once again, I predicted that fight. I said he'd stop Errol Spence late. No one's seen that coming. It's just styles make fights so much. And Errol likes to wait and be powerful. Canelo's similar. Canelo likes to wait. It has to be all at Canelo's rate and pace. He's not going to get that way with Terence Crawford.
No, you think?
I just think Terence Crawford will outwork him, will pot shot him, and I think he'll win on points.
Shakur Stevenson also pledged his support for Terence Crawford, hailing his flashy style and in-ring smarts. The young sensation views Crawford's quickness and ability to adjust as the ideal combination to deal with Canelo's power and experience. Stevenson's support brings new vitality to the hype, noting how even the next generation of contenders honors Crawford's skill. With so many heavy hitters leaning on him, Crawford's confidence and faith in his win only grows larger.
I think Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height-wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so. No.
Corey, how you got a decision to stop this? Because Bradman and Boozy think that Bud actually might stop it.
Me and Boozy talked about that. That's crazy. Me and him got on the phone and talked about it, but I think that's possible. Like I'm not saying, but I think it's a possibility if Canelo gets to acting out of line and not understanding that Bud could crack too. So.
Andre Ward, too, was standing strong in defense of Terence Crawford, applauding his technical prowess and mental fortitude. Ward pointed out the value of Crawford's ability to adjust mid-bout and dictate the tempo, skills that render him the better man for any opponent, even Canelo. With Ward being a two-division legend himself, his recommendation is taken very seriously in the sport of boxing. His affirmation lends further credibility to the sentiments of champions who believe that Crawford possesses the mettle to emerge victorious in the much hyped showdown.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Bernard Hopkins added his voice to the list of praise for Terence Crawford, singling out his quick boxing IQ and strategic thinking. The all-time great former middleweight and light heavyweight champion is of the opinion that Crawford's intelligence to outsmart and outmaneuver others makes him a serious contender to beat Canelo. Hopkins' seal of approval comes with heavyweight status because of his decades-long experience at the elite level. His faith in Crawford's ability set another booming voice to say that Bud possesses what it takes to take down this gargantuan fight.
Is his skill so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes?
He has a legitimate chance. Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong without showing that I am tough. I earned my position to be here. And I want to show you, even though you're being stubborn, that your time not only have came, but it's gone. He ain't gonna surrender and say I'll slow down.
It's a collision of styles, eras, and philosophies. Will power prevail or will precision steal the night? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and keep it locked right here. We're bringing you everything from face-offs to final bell. The countdown to war has begun.